gonna be going.
Okay, so let me start. So now we are looking at actually two loans. One is two loans. As I said, somebody tomorrow actually go to the Bank of America to borrow, and the Bank of America only allow them to borrow like $80,000, right? So, but this guy really needs actually the $90,000 to buy a house, right? So now actually go to the Citibank and get another $10,000. So now alternatively, if the Wells Fargo, right, know this news and you really want to get into business, right? So now the question, how much, if you work for Wells Fargo and your manager asks you, come up with some like rates, right? And Wells Fargo will get the business, and then Wells Fargo will not lose money, right? So now, how many think you can do it?
Which house is it?
How many think,
Equalize the APRs.
Yeah, you can figure it out.
Yes. The key is actually, just lost this, actually equalize the APR. Right, so that's actually makes this borrower no difference between these two choices, right? Because this guy already in Wells Fargo. If no difference, same APR, I can take it because I'm already here, right? So now actually we need to calculate the APR. APR. Can you calculate the APR for this loan? How?
Find the payment and do it.
Okay, whenever you want to compute the APR or the effective cost of any loan, write actual cash flow. Always write actual cash flow. Because the first choice you have two loans. So what's the actual cash flow for the two loans? So now it's easy, right? So now actually, whenever, because if you know these two must be same APR. So APR, so now the next step we need to compute the APR for the first choice, right? So now actually, I will go step by step. But that's here, right? This example is kind of simplified because here is no origination cost. I assume there are no origination costs, so make life much simple. But in reality, right? In reality, there's origination cost, right? So the next slide, right? In the next slide is the origination cost. So this is much more difficult. So I will talk about. So first we will look at the simple cases, right? So now actually, we need to calculate the APR. So I will export this one because export PDF file. So today I'm meeting for. So 1, right? 4. Then I will post in our course website, right? After today's lecture. Then actually I get a new one. Okay, so now, the key is actually calculate the APR, right? Because both APR of the two loans and APR of one loan should be the same, right? So APR, the key is we need to calculate the APR. So in order to calculate APR for two loans, right? For two loans. So now actually we need that in order to compute the effective cost. APR actually effective cost that you hold the loan for entire term, right? So in order to compute the actual cost of the loan, we need to write the actual cash flow. Actual cash flow, always, right? So now actually we have two loans. At the time zero, because for two loans, first loan is $80,000, right? $80,000. Then actually, can anybody tell me what is the monthly? Because it's 25 years, right? 25 years, that's 300 months. So every month you have to pay how much? Yes, $842.58, right? Just for 80,000 loan. Because look, that's the actual cash flow for the big loan. Because we don't have actually cost associated with the loan, right? By assumption. So just $80,000 actual cash flow, right? So for the smaller loan, second loan is $10,000, right? Then actually you do the same thing. You compute the monthly payments, right? So it will be $151.74, right? So now it's because you borrow these two loans, right? You borrow these two loans. So what's the extra cash flow for these two loans? Of course, $90,000. So now listen, for incremental borrowing cost, you will do the difference. But for the bigger loan and the smaller loan, for this time, you compute APR for this combining loan, right? Don't make the difference. You are now computing the APR for the combination of these two loans, right? So use addition, right? Add them together. So now $90,000, right? So now $842 plus 151, this will be $994. Is that right? So now you have extra cash flow. If you borrow these two loans, right? $90,000 times 0. Every month from month 1 to month 300, you pay $994.32, right? So now we have this cash flow. Now the next question we can use 5 keys method, right? We can compute the interest rate, right? So then actually, this will be 300. Apparent value, this is by $90,000. This is 994.32. This is 0, right? So you compute the interest rate and make sure you multiply by 12, and you will got 699. Right?
Wait, what's the first one? You wrote 90,000 or
99.
What number is that for the present value? No, for the present value. 90,000.
90,000. The present value always the cash flow at times 0. Times 0, right? So now you got the 12.69%. Right? So now you know actually the second loan, $90,000 bigger loan, right? From Wells Fargo must be APR $90,000. Right? So now look, because this is APR. For the $90,000, right? Look, you borrow $90,000 from from Wells Fargo, right? Every month. Okay, so now look. Now basically look. Basically, what's the APR? Basically, your interest rate, right? For Wells Fargo, right? They will charge the APR 12.69%. Because here is no origination cost. The cost that the APR is all came from interest rate. So 12.69% interest rate on the $90,000. Is that right? Because both APR should be the same, right? But some interest rate must be APR. Does anybody can see that? Yeah. But now there's origination cost. Now actually, you have to make things much worse, right? Anybody? So now the interest rate should be just APR. Same APR is Anybody can see that, right? So now the next question we need actually But in real world, there's always origination cost associated with the loan, right? So now listen. Now actually we everything else will be the same, but the only difference the total origination cost, right? Because now you borrow two loans, right? The cost will be higher because you have to pay the paperwork or other things, right? But if you borrow bigger loan, $90,000, right, the cost will be much less, right? So now that's actually kind of like a real world situation, right? If you borrow one loan from Bank of America, one loan from Citibank, and your total cost will be $5,000. But you borrow one bigger loan from Wells Fargo, right? You only pay $3,000, right? So now the question, what should the interest be on the $90,000? This is bigger loan, right? What's that? And the answer is 13.04%. So how many think you can do this problem? If you can do it, right? You can answer the question in midterm exam because same exact, almost exactly the same. How many think you can do it? Any volunteer to come? Take a my seat. Any volunteer? Okay, so I will go over through this because it is very, very, this is will become much important, much difficult, right? But okay, so now the general approach is same, right? Look, what I will do, right? I want to compute the APR for this loan. APR for this loan, right? So now the APR will be different because actual cash flow will be different. Actually, can anybody tell me what's the actual? If it has $5,000, right? Can anybody tell me the actual cash flow? This part, right? This is the actual cash flow. Can anybody tell me which number will change? 90,000, right? So now actually you need to subtract $5,000. $85,000, right? The only thing difference is this, right? But how about the payments? Stay the same. The only difference, right? So now the APR will be different, right? So now you need to change this guy, $85,000, right? So APR will be higher. So you get this guy. The APR will be what? Now it's like I calculate 300. $85,000. 994.32 negative. Okay, so APR, I need to multiply by 12. So can anybody tell me what is the APR? Yes. 13.554542. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So now it's the next step. Next step we need to because we need the actual APR same as the bigger loan $90,000, right? This loan we need to have same APR as this, right? So can anybody tell me what's the actual cash flow for this actually $90,000? Actual cash flow times 0. What is it?
85,000?
Yes, you need to minus 3,000, right? You $97,000. No. $87,000. So look. So now I need to look. At times 0 you receive $87, right? Extra cash flow. How much your monthly payment should be, right? In order to be the APR is 13.554542. So now I need to find out payments. What it is, right? But the condition is APR is equal to 13.554542. Is that right? I need to find it. Can you do it? Of course you can do the 5-piece method, right? Is that right? 5-piece method. So now actually we use the 5-piece method. This is APR, right? This is APR here. We plus it here. Yeah, right? Divide by 12. Right, 12. So now actually divide by 12.
What are you putting into M and P9?
Say it again.
What are you putting into like M, payment,
Okay, so N will be here is 300.
Mm-hmm.
N will be now the key we need to calculate this guy. N will be 300. Interest rate will be APR divided by 12, so this will be 1.129545, right? Then this will be. So now it's look. I need a cash because this guy actual cash flow is $87,000, right?
For present value is $87,000?
Yeah, $87,000 extra cash flow because you borrow $90,000, but you have to pay origination costs $3,000.
Hold on, so the present value is 90 or 87,000?
Present value will be 80. No, listen. No, for this right? Because look, you got 8. Oh, okay. That's extra question. This actually is $87,000. Because why?
The rate is, you're on
Look.
rating or.
Look, you borrow 80, you extra money, this is cash flow. You extra cash flow coming into pocket $87,000. How much monthly payment should be in order your APR, your cost will be this number? So of course, you have to use $87,000. Right? $87,000 is same as the APR as this two combined loan. How much monthly payment you have to pay, right? So now we can calculate. So this present value will be, should be $87,000. Be very careful, right? $87,000. So second step, we computed the monthly payment for the $90,000 loan, right? And then APR, same APR as two combined loan. So now actually the monthly payments should be what is the monthly payment? 1,000. I heard a different number again. What is it? Yes. So now you make me. Is that right? Now okay, look. So now look. So now that's step 2, right? That's step 2. The third step we need to find out. If you borrow $90,000, look. If you borrow because actually you borrow $90,000 from the Wells Fargo, right? Every month you pay $1,017.72, right? You borrow $90,000 from the Wells Fargo. Every month you pay this amount. How much interest they should charge? Right? 5 piece math. $390,000. $1,017.72. Then interest rate. Mm-hmm.
Can you make a note and be like, this is the slide to PM16?
Okay.
How do you get the interest 11.29?
Okay. Because look, it's like,
Divided by 12.
look, you got the AC, because
Alright.
combine divide by 12.
Like,
Yes.
thank you.
Now okay, look. Okay, so then multiple by 12. So you got, right? Multiple by 12, you got 3039359. So in the lecture notes, it's called 13.04, right? So maybe you just said actually.
No, all I said was like, oh, can you like put a little note like, oh, this is the slides 15 to 16, just so we know like we're like lower version.
Is this gonna be like one question on the quiz?
Yes.
That's actually right? Oh, quiz, yes.
Oh my.
There's some question against quiz. Very simple. Because
1 out of 50.
I can tell you. I can tell you, like, midterm exam, there are 8 questions, right? And some actually, a lot of them actually will appear in the quiz. Like this type of question will be in the quiz. So now this quiz is 2 points, right? You have not have to spend 5 minutes. Some quiz just 1 second. Some quiz is 5 minutes. But the good thing is actually, 50 multiple choice, you have 5 hours to finish. Right. But the important. But listen, you need to be familiar with the material. So what do you think actually? There are 3 steps for this question, right? Just actually Ross said, you combine loan, one bigger loan, APR same. That's the key. Then you go for the APR for the combined loan, right? Then if there's origination cost, compute the APR first, the combined loan, right? Then the next step, same APR for the bigger loan. You should compute the monthly payment. how much monthly payment should be charged, right? Then it's the same as API is the combined loan. After you got the monthly payments, right? Then the last step, 3 steps, right?
What was the
Disappear.
Right there on the bottom. Top.
Huh?
Right there.
Oh, okay. Same. Okay, so the last step, right? The last step, because you know how much you have to pay and how much money you borrow, right? Of course, the interest rate you can calculate. Right? So look, this type of question, right? If we use Excel, it's kind of hard. You can you notice that, right? Yeah, as a 5 piece method much easier. But this type of question, right? If you take a real estate finance class, you must know it. Because for me, actually, by my understanding, right? Real estate finance, all related to mortgage stuff, right? You should any question. Do you know in real world, this is real world question. Right? For me, actually, you know, you can challenge me. Any question related with mortgage, I can give you right answer. Right? So you should do the same. Right? So that's why I give you lots of, you know, things actually, you know, different kind of things actually, you know, you need to calculate. Right? But listen, so far we still focus like for midterm exam, we still focus on like a fixed rate mortgage, right? If we really understand all the material, right, we'll go fast. Then we'll talk about lots of different mortgages. Yes.
I'm just confused the last part. I'm getting a different interest rate when I do those inputs on 5 feet.
Okay. Okay. So now this you understand. This you understand, right?
I understand that. It's
Okay.
just I'm getting a different number for the
Okay.
interest
So
rate.
N 300,
Right?
90,000 because that's a long amount.
Right?
Use the monthly payment.
Right?
This monthly payment is equal to the same APR. 0, right? Then you compute this multiple by 12.
Right. But I got 13.830413.
Is that right? Let me.
300.
Yes. Anybody can say? Anybody can say?
You got it.
Okay, so now I need to find out. Yes.
I know I transposed it. I didn't have 71 as it's 17.
Okay. So this, okay. That's good. Okay, so we are done for this, right? So I need actually export. Because I always do not combine. So I will post in our course website. So you can actually, if you still kind of confused, right, you can take a look at the lecture notes. In the today's meeting 4, right? So I will post in meeting 4, the folders, right? You can find. So because why actually I keep doing, because if I write more and more, right, this will become very small. So I always, export for different files. Then I will combine it for you guys. So today this is 2.
You would go slide 13 and 16.
2, right?
That would be like slide 15 and 16.
Oh!
Yeah, so you say it so we know like what slide it's for.
But when you see it, you will know it.
No, but
Okay, so let's do this. Where I should write?
like when you save it and upload it, you like just answers to slide 15 and 16.
Okay, so let me do this. This is slide 15 or 16? Is that right? Slide 15. Is this good enough? Magdalene, is it good enough?
Yes.
Can you see it? Slide 15. This sound. Okay, so now I export. But then eventually I will combine. But you will figure out. Okay, so let me save it. This actually should be 2, right? Yeah. Okay, so then actually so this type of question, there are 2 loans that we know, right? So the key is actually this 2 loan, the APR, actual cost of the loan, right, should be the same APR, right? So solve APR for, then is payments, monthly payment for second loan, right? Then if the origination cost and then try to find out the interest rate, right? Okay, so now we move on. This we already done, right? So this incremental borrowing cost always, regardless, right? Incremental borrowing cost always rate the actual cash flow for bigger loan, smaller loan makes the difference. That's it, right? Then, okay, so now this is actually also important. Then now I want to talk about impact of marginal income tax, right, on mortgage cost, right? As you know, everybody, when if your income, if you go, actually, for you guys, you work hard, right? And now I want to tell you guys, actually, first job, right? Don't negotiate with the salary because there's not much. If the first job, people offer you $70,000, you want to $80,000, right? It's very difficult to increase $10,000, really. So what? First job, no negotiation. Which company offer you, right, best opportunity? You can learn more, right? Go to this company because if you have more than two companies offer you, right? Then actually, if you end up with one company, right? Then what you should do? You need to set your goal. 5 years. 5 years, I want to double my salary. It's difficult, right? But you always, if you didn't actually, because it's difficult, if you, after 5 years, maybe you maybe 50% increase, right? That is most people may get it, right? But I do have actually, one of my colleagues, actually, I hired him when I was in Fannie Mae. His first job, right? Because he just graduated from college, St. Cafe, I think St. Jose. No, it's not. St. John's, I'm sorry. St. John's University in Santa Fe. So in Fannie Mae, in 2004, Fannie Mae offered his job is $60,000. It's an undergrad, right? $60,000 we offer him. But from after 5 years later, right, his salary is more than $110,000. So it's almost double, right? So you guys should do the same. But for me, I always tell my colleague when I work in Fannie Mae, right? I always tell my manager. If I want to go somewhere else, I always can find a job the next day. I'm very confident because I will stay. Why I stay in Fannie Mae, right? I think I can learn a lot from Fannie Mae because I enjoy working in Fannie Mae. So for you guys, always do the same. If you stay somewhere, right? Because you like it, stay there. But you have always outside opportunity. If you want to go, right? Other people will get you offer more. So I always tell, today I work in FIU, right? Because I'm happy. But if someone makes me not happy, I will go somewhere else. Right? Same thing I talk to where I'm in Cal State Fullerton. Right? Even though in Cal State Fullerton I'm tenure, and here I tenure, right? If somebody make me not happy, I will go somewhere else, better place. But why I stay here, right? Because I love this place. So that's always do this, right? So for you guys, actually, for you guys always do the same thing, But listen, when actually your goal, right? You need in your lifetime, because if you work a professional world, right? Your goal is you make your wealth as much as possible. That's your goal. For me, because I want. That's not my goal. For me, right? I will teach you guys success. And the plus I publish papers. So I have research goal, right? Try to stay in frontier in the research arena, right? And then teach you guys. If like I tell you after like 20 or 25 years later, right? You become billionaire. and during that time you say something. Dr. Lee teaching you 1%, one exit. Philosophy, right? You learn and you keep working hard, right? Then why I become billionaire, right? That's my success, right? So for me, my goal actually, you guys can succeed. But listen, if you work in professional world, right, your goal always make more money, right? It's nothing wrong, right? But after you make lots of money, what you should do? You pay tax to the society. Always, take care of underprivileged people, right? So listen, so when actually if your salary increase, right? So what happens? Because your tax burden also increase, right? So now actually we need to talk about why the people who make lots of money, right? They always buy bigger home and they borrow bigger mortgage, right? Because they are tax deduction. Otherwise, they have to pay more tax, right? So that's actually, or like a president-elect Donald Trump did. There's nothing wrong, right? Try to avoid to pay tax. Yeah, that's right. That's what he did. Always the people who have lots of money, actually, they always try to avoid the tax, right? So this is, because this actually, this is legal, right? So listen, you can see, look, in the United States, right, that's actually 2015 federal tax rate, right? Federal tax rate. So if you single, right? So look, if your income, right? If your income, okay, in this period, look, if income, right, over $188,000 for single, right? That's actually maybe not. This is single, but the most, okay, look at here. And most people actually easily can make like over $90,000, right? So if your income over $90,000, what's your marginal tax rate? Your marginal tax rate will be 28%. That's right. So if you household, if you combine, if you marry, right? So now if your income more than $230, your marginal tax is 33%. But I can tell you, look, for you guys, right? After we work in the corporation 10 years, 15 years, right? Your spouse and your salary is easy to definitely way above these numbers, right? So what's your marginal tax rate? 33%. That's federal, right? So it's a very high tax rate. Whenever when you make more and more money, right? Then you look at if you make more than 23,000. For me, actually, I think you guys, right? I think after maybe another 10 years, your combined household income is definitely more than these numbers, right? So 33%. So now if you look, if you have 33%, right? The good thing is the U.S. policy, interest portion always tax deducted, always. So that's why if your interest payment, we already know, right? At the beginning of the mortgage, right? How much big chunk of money you pay interest? Multiple by 33%. How much tax payment? You can save lots of tax, right? So now we want to actually see, how your tax rate affects you. Of course, if you make more money, you have a higher tax rate, and the impact will be even more. Okay, so now we will look at it, right? So this will be will be in midterm exam. The last problem is related with this, right? So make sure actually you really understand, right? But it's quite easy. It's really. If you understand the amortization table, right? It's so easy. So I will go from there. So now if we look at a real example, right? If a house with price of $250,000 and your loan to value ratio is 80%, 20% from your own pocket, right? So you borrow $200,000. Then you choose 30 years fixed mortgage with interest rate 6%. Assume the borrower's marginal income tax is 28%. So 28% basically is actually, I think, is your income, individual income is about $90,000. Lost, maybe you already reached this number, right? So you pay marginal tax rate is 28%. So we just assume 28%. So now just look, what are the borrower's tax deduction in the first 5 months? Can anybody use financial calculator? Can you do it?
What is it?
Now can anybody tell me what is your first month's tax deduction? Can anybody tell me? Can you calculate? Use financial calculator. Of course, right? Okay. So now today, if I use financial calculator, but I will do Excel in a minute. What are the borrower's tax deductions in the first 5 months? Month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, right? Month 5, right? So what I do? First I compute the monthly payment for the mortgage, right? The 5 keys method, right? N will be 360. Interest rate 6 divided by 12. Present value will be $200,000. Future value will be 0. Compute the payment, right? Afterwards, you set second amortization P1 equal to 1, P2 equal to 1. Then find the interest.
And 1?
1. P1, P2, both equal to 1. Then find the interest. L down P, right? L down, and then you find the interest. Multiple by 28%. That's your tax saving. right? So now it's look. Anyone can see that? So basically you can use financial calculator to calculate, right? So that's actually what I did. Look, by you just like every month you can first month, second month, what's the tax deduction, right? So if I use financial calculator, first step by compute the monthly payments, right? Now I say for this mortgage, your monthly payment will be $1,000, $199.10, right? Afterwards, right? You use second amortization key. Set P1 equal to 1, P2 equal to 1, and then find the interest, right? Or you can use this, because the beginning balance of the first month will be the loan amount, multiplied by the monthly interest rate. Same thing, right? So you got the interest first month, multiplied by, because your marginal tax rate 28%, so the government, U.S. government allow you, because you pay interest, right, $1,000, right? 20% of your interest rate is your tax saving. If you don't pay the interest, right, you pay $280 more for to U.S. government in income tax. Yes.
So on the calculator, when you get the interest amount, you multiply that by
28%.
28%.
Yes. Yes. So now next one. Now this actually I did the amortization table, right? So now it's like second step, right? That's amortization table. Because you know that first month is $1,000, right? So the difference in your monthly payments and your interest payment in first month is the principal payments for the first month, right? So that basically is the amortization table. Then the ending balance in first month it will be the beginning balance of the first month minus your principal payment in the first month, right? So this is the ending balance for the first month, or beginning balance at the second month, right? Then you do the same thing. Your tax saving, right, in your interest payment. Oh, okay. The first month your interest in tax saving is $280, right? Then actually the actual payment in the first month, right? How much you pay? Your monthly payment. $1,199. Yeah, $1,199.10, right? Minus your tax saving $280 for first month, right? That's your actual money, right? So basically, like, because this actually, because in US, because I think it might be the only country in the United States because the government so promote home ownership, right? No other country actually, can give you tax incentive, right? Because you simply buy aggressive. But the people actually buy a house use all cash. Do they have this kind of? No. So basically, the U.S. government encourage you to borrow money to buy a house, right? In order to have tax savings. Is that right? So if you buy all cash, right, you don't have this tax benefit, right?
So in this problem, you just assume they're in the 90,000 to 189.
Yes. So that's your actual payment for the first month.
No, I'm talking about the tax bracket.
Yeah, you just assume
You
that
just
the given.
assume they're in the 90,000 to 189,000.
Assuming, yeah, it says it.
Oh, tax rate. No, for actually tax rate, right? Tax rate I will assume.
Yeah, the question says,
But in reality, right, everybody different. Because if you make less money, right, you pay less tax. I think I was surprised actually in the U.S. like half of U.S. household does not pay any tax, right? That's really surprising. I thought every household pay tax if they make money, right? But is that right? There is a report like a study. Half of the U.S. household does not pay any tax. Right? But if you don't pay tax, right, you don't have to pay it, right? But only the people who pay higher taxes, right, they're more get it. Anybody can see that? Right. Yes.
Why did you find the balance? What did it help you for?
The balance actually is like basically a amortization table. Look.
What did it help you for in this equation?
The beginning though?
Okay. The balance like something like that.
Yeah.
Look. The ending balance.
Why do you need to know this?
Let's say it again.
Why do you need to find this out right now?
Repeat your question again.
What's the reason you're solving for this right now? It doesn't help.
Oh no, it's not solving. It's basically amortization table. Amortization, because in Excel you will see that formula.
I understand, but why is that step 4? Why do you have to do this?
Oh, because I assume basically if you know it, I want to refresh you guys' memory. If you don't know it, you can learn learn from this. Because I will actually re-emphasize again in the Excel. Because Excel, actually I will use the formula, right? For some of you, if you already know it, you just basically refresh your memory, right? I just want to know step by step. But in Excel, I'll talk about,
So I'm asking, in terms of finding out the amount of money you see.
Look,
It doesn't. It's just like, you just refresh, you know.
look, in terms of you have actually two ways to compute the balance. One is actually you can use a 5-piece method, right? Second amortization, you can find it. Also, this actually is a kind of amortization table. So Excel, actually, what I did, okay, I will show you actually in a minute. Basically, I use this actually, right? But that is, this is a legitimate question. Okay, so now I just move on, right? Basically, same thing. Do the same, right? So now look. This Excel I need to calculate from Excel, right? I will show you in a minute. So now you borrow $200,000, right? You pay every month, you pay this amount, right? So interest portion is the beginning balance multiplied by the monthly interest rate, right? So monthly interest for this case is 0.5%, right? So that's why I got the 1,000. This number multiplied by half monthly interest rate 0.5%, you got this, right? Then this number minus this number, you got the principal, because you either pay your monthly payment, either pay interest or principal, right? So if you know the interest, the difference, you got the principal. Then actually the beginning balance minus the principal is the ending balance, right? Then actually tax deduction, right? If your marginal tax rate is 28%, then actually the interest portion, because principal portion, right, you are not tax deductible. In the United States, only interest portion tax deductible, right? So you pay 1,000 interest, your tax rate is 28%. So this number multiplied by 28% marginal tax rate is your tax savings. So this actually, you pay in first month you pay less tax, $280, right? So this is your actual payment minus your tax deduction, right? This is becoming your effective payment. This is your mortgage payment minus tax deduction, right? This is your actual payment. That's right. Then we do the same thing. You can see tax deduction will decrease over time. Because your tax interest portion decrease over time. So that's why your tax benefit will decrease. Marginal tax is still same, but because interest payment decrease over time, right? That means your benefit will decrease. So your actual payment will increase. Anybody can see that, right? Okay, so now listen. Now for this type of problem, right, we have to use Excel because because the thing is, if you use financial calculator, right? Because every month the actual, look at every month, right? Every month the actual payment is different. If you use financial calculator, right? If there's 360 months, you have cash flow 1, cash flow 2, cash flow 1, this number, frequency 1. Cash flow 2, this number, frequency 1, 2, 1, right? Until 360 times. Then actually more likely you will make a mistake when you input the numbers, right? So Excel file is the best one, right? For tax, in terms of the effect of tax on the mortgage cost, right? You have to use Excel. So now actually I want to actually bring the Excel file here. I think I don't know whether I uploaded.
I don't think you
You didn't? Okay.
No, it's not here.
No, it's there, right? Okay. So now actually, I will actually okay. So now listen. So now actually, I start from here. I will create a new one. Look, because this actually you see, right? This Excel I already posted in our course website, right? So I just want to change the numbers, right? Then actually I will post in our course website. So what? About $250,000. House value $250,000. $250,000. Right? So So loan to value 80%. Interest rate long term is how many? 30 years. Interest rate is 6%. Now it's this number, right? Okay, so now listen. Now actually I look text. I actually rename this. It's a mortgage computation, right? Tax effect, right? So now actually I use Excel to. So can anyone tell me now your marginal tax rate, right? Somebody marginal tax rate is marginal tax rate is 28%. 28%. I just 28%, right? So now actually look. Here is tax deduction. Tax deduction, right? Because we know tax deduction is the mortgage rate, the marginal tax rate, H6, right? I use dollar, actually I just keep it because I want to copy paste. So I want a dollar and dollar, right, in Excel. So that's when I copy paste it will not change. So that's 28%, I fixed 28%, right? Then multiple by what? Interest.
Wait, delete that.
There's two multiples.
Delete, you have two multiplications.
Oh, thank you. So where is the interest payments for first month? D1? No. D13, right? So now look. Interest payments multiple by your marginal tax rate. That's your tax saving, right? Tax saving, right? So I just, now what I did because I just copy paste. Copy paste until 360. Right? So the last month's tax saving is $1.67, right? So now actually look. Now actually I want to compute what's your actual payments, right? Every month. So actual payments. Actual payment is the difference between what? Your mortgage payments, C13, right? Minus your tax saving, H13, right? So this actually your actual payments, right? Then I copy, paste. Copy, paste, right? That's your actual payment. So now actually look at, what's your actual cash flow? So your actual cash flow, right? Actual cash flow. Actual cash flow. Is there any cost associated with the loan? No? Okay. So now actually for this case there no cost, right? So now extra cash flow, at time zero, how much money come in the pocket? That's the loan amount, right? The loan amount will be what? $200,000, right? The loan amount will be C5, right? So then actually, here is actually like origination cost, right? Origination cost for this case is like 0. I put 0, right? So now here is actually is minus origination cost, right? Origination cost is C8 because C8 for this case is 0, right? So now can anybody tell me what's the actual payment for first month? I just copy the numbers, right? I13, right? So I just copy paste. Copy paste, right? Until 360 months. This is your every year, this is your actual payments, right? So now actually IRR. So I compute down APR. APR, right? APR. So this APR is after tax. Now make sure after tax. Because after tax, I already consider after tax. Right? So now actually like APR after tax. So now actually is equal to IRR. So starting from J what? J12, right? Until two dots, J372. J372. So now actually, I actually highlight, do you know? All of them, right? So now actually, you know, you can actually just ignore, right? I basically all put a 0. Just guess 0. 0, it should be fine, right? Comma 0. So now if you look, okay, this actually look. Can anybody tell me why it's? Because look, I actually look.
Colors increase on decimal.
Yes, that's good. We are actually.
Right to the little arrow.
Where is actually the formula one? Okay. It's just a sphere, right? So now look. So if you look. Now actually, you know, some students ask me, right? Do you know, look, if this, no. Because if we look at this too narrow, right? When you see these things, right, you need to expand it. Right? You need to expand it. Then you will see the number. Right? If you see this number, right? Look. If you see this number, look, this. Oh, it's not allow you to actually. Okay, 4%. But the 4%, right? That's actually, you know, you need to increase. You know, increase. Because I can always increase the decimal points. Anyone can see that? Right? So now it's 4.32% after tax. The API is after tax, right? So now make sure. Because what I did, right? I you know, highlighted the cash flow from time 0 to time 360 months, right? Then multiple by 12 because it's monthly payments, it's monthly interest rate. Multiple by 12, you convert to the annual payments, right? So this is after tax. Anybody can see that?
Yeah.
It's easy, right? So now if you look, if the origination cost, like if origination cost is $5,000, right? So I just choose that's $5,000. Oh no, $5,000, right? So now your cost will be higher. Instead of 4.32, now it becomes 4.52. That's it. The origination cost is now tax deductible, right? So it will boost your actually annual cost. Is that right? So now if you look, I think look. In our midterm exam, the final exam, right? Final exam, because like their origination cost. Right? So make sure, you know, their origination cost. So you need to put just what I did here, right? Anybody can see that?
Are you gonna save that one in?
Should I?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will save it. Right? I save it. I will save it. So now you look. But look, if this guy, right? If only holding for 1 year, right? Holding for this actually APR means holding for 30 years, right? But what is the cost after tax? What is the cost, right? After tax, only holding for 1 year, right? So now actually I want to do again. So look, I do the same thing. Cash flow, actual cash flow. Disappeared.
What's the formula for? Yeah.
Why I cannot do it? Something wrong.
Probably.
save it. Okay. So now okay, I reopen it. Okay, text effect. So I will put in our course website for this. Then actually why I cannot change it? Because of here? Oh. Okay. Don't save it. Okay. So I think I click this guy, right? Then next I open it. Here. I think Excel is different compared with Excel. The Excel in my computer. Why is that? Okay. So now I just cost. I just write cash flow. Cash flow. I don't know. As a computer does not allow me to do it. As something wrong. So listen. So now I just describe it. You only hold it for 1 year, right? That means you hold it for 12 months, right? So now you need to write the actual cash flow. So what I do, right? Actual cash flow $195,000. If the originating cost is $5,000, right?
Yeah.
So copy this number. Copy this number. Copy this number until 12 months.
Is that including the 195?
Yes. Because actual cash flow must start from time zero. Then actually in 12 months, right? Where 12 months? 12 months here. 24. Right? 24. So 12 months, in 12 months, right? 24, this number. In 12 months, right? Because you have to pay all, after 12 months you pay this, extra payments, right? You have to pay all the remaining balance. So this minus this, right? So the ending balance in 12 months should be combined of these two payments, right? But this exchange excess is negative. So you need to this equal to this sale minus this sale, right? Anybody can see that? So now actually combined number is bigger than absolute combined number bigger than this and this, right? So then actually for month 1, month 11, same number. Month 1 and month 11 number, exact same number, right? But 12, this number, this payment plus this ending balance, right? Then it's in 12 months. Then use IRR, right? Use IRR, same as this for IRR, right? Then actually, do you know? Now actually you starting from here, starting from like if the sale is here, the L starting from L12 to L24, right? Multiple with 12. Then you got the after tax if you hold it only for 1 year. Yes.
Why are you doing till 24, not till 12?
1 year.
Because of the
Number 25, 24.
yeah, yes. Like holding 12 months, that's actually still 24. Right? That's the difference. But that's an excellent question. Right? It's still 24, that's 12 months. Because we're starting from 12. So that's why, right? Okay, so I'm done for the new material because I want to slow down. So I don't want to talk about the lecture 4 today, but I want to go over solution to like assignment 2.
Would you mind trying to put in one more time and see if it works?
Oh, okay. Okay. So don't need ask me to actually whether I don't think it works. No. But then don't worry. I will do it in my computer. Then I will post it. So you will see actually what holding for 1 year you will see the cash flow, you will see the IRR. Right. Okay, so I'm actually done for the new material and then I will talk about the solution 2. solution to assignment 2, right?
You're like, oh, you're wrong. Yeah.
Look, I just go, pay attention. Look, just actually look at the quiz.
Oh, whoa, slow down, man. Hey, okay,
They laughed.
Oh, I thought that was
We got one right.
Once the menu has been cut, but I don't think you can get it.
I need you to go back
Some answer is wrong because I need to correct it.
Don't give me a lady. That's it.
No. But no, but for the quiz, it's very long. You can see it's very long. There are lots of calculations. So you must be familiar with the material.
When you give us 2 more hours,
Not necessary. No, actually, I give you guys two actually more hours, right? In terms of difficulty, is actually similar.
okay.
But as I said, real estate finance is much more challenging compared to corporate finance. So you can see. So for me, I keep telling the finance people, right, finance professor, right, real estate actually is more difficult, more difficult. And for everything almost.
I try to do that. It's get him the analysis
Yes.
and practice.
Yes.
The ways that we calculate and put it over based on what we calculators get.
360 months.
Alright, no, but it says days and years. So no matter what, because I was talking to one of my neighbors, and they said, using a financial calculator, I would never get the same payment if they raised a lot. If I think it's off by like a couple cents, then I would be able to get the right effective rate. So I don't know, maybe I'll come to your office.
Yes, please, yes. Okay, so now I want to talk about assignment, right? So because we have actually for assignment 2, we have actually 5 problems, right? So for the problem 1, should I go over through this?
Yes, one, yes, please.
To see.
Maybe not. I don't need to.
Yes.
Yeah, let's just go.
Okay, for problem 1, right?
Yes.
Suppose you borrow $300,000 at 4% for 30 years monthly payment. The APR on the loan is 4.25%. What amount points were charged if there was a $5,000 origination cost, right? So listen, because for this question we know APR is 4.25. APR always corresponding to the actual cash flow. So now can anybody tell me if APR is 4.25, actual cash flow, right? Times 0, you don't know how much money coming into pocket. Because you don't know what's the discount point charge. We need to calculate. But do you know monthly payment? You can calculate, right? Okay. So now what you should do? Calculate, no, first calculate monthly payments. Then calculate present value. Then $300,000 minus present value minus $500,000, right? Such is the discount points you pay.
500,000? No, 5,000.
5,000. Okay, so step 1, compute the monthly payment for this mortgage. Step 2, compute the present value of this mortgage. Actual money coming into pocket. Then, because actual money coming into pocket is equal to $300,000 minus $5,000 minus discount point cost. Right? So now actually if you do algebra again, and the discount point cost will be $300,000 minus $5,000 minus present value. How many, when I do this, how many understand? Raise your hand. How many don't understand? Everybody understand, right?
Added or subtracted. But I got it.
You got it. Any questions?
So what's the answer? 3.86?
The answer is no. Actually, I will post the solution. Where the solution to assignment 2? Okay, this one. Look, okay, so let's look at first step, compute the monthly payment. Because we know APR, we need to compute the actual cash flow. Actual cash flow, we need to know what's the monthly payment, right? So this is the monthly payment. After computing the monthly payment, we need to compute how much money comes into pocket, the present value, right? So, based on the APR 4.25, right? So the present value will be 291,000. Why the present value? The money actually comes to your pocket less than the loan amount. Because you not only pay 5,000 origination cost, but also pay what? Discount.
Why did you do the last step like that?
Yeah, I lost there.
Okay, now it's the cost of the discount points will be, right? Will be equal to the money you borrow minus the cost, origination cost, minus your discount points, C, right? C. Just the rest of it. This is actual, because actual money coming into pocket always equal to the loan amount minus all the costs associated. But the things, like, you know actual money coming into pocket. Because we know APR, right? We know actual money coming into pocket. But we don't know discount. We know this. We don't know this. But there's one equation, one unknown number. We can solve it.
See, I think what you did in the last step was when you did it in class. Because you, some of us, where we divided it in class by.
Okay, listen. After you compute the C, right? After you compute the C, right? You need to divide it in order to get a point. So after you got it, what's the discount points, right? You pay in terms of dollar. Then divide by the loan amount. You got the discount point.
So if you did it though a different way,
Same.
you took that amount divided by 1,000, which I think all of us here got the answer of 3.86%. Well, you did it two different ways. You did one is
Same.
1,000, then one is 100,000. Looks like the 100,000 was the right way because you did it as 300,000 on this one. So
If you look at it carefully, it's exactly the same. First of all, how much you pay for the discount point in terms of dollar. Then you compute this guy divide by the loan amount. Yes. Okay? So this is a step by step, right? So it's quite straightforward, right?
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
So now problem 2. Problem 2. Long 1, long 2, right? The question, what's the discount point charge on long 1? Same thing. I don't need to go over through, right? No. Any different opinion? Should I go over through problem 2 first the question?
No, sir. I want the.
David probably, no. I know, David do excellent job for the 2 problems.
Sorry, can you just go up to problem 1 more time?
Yeah, is this one?
No,
Problem 1.
Okay, problem 1, but same thing. Okay, problem 1, listen. Because the question, right? The problem, because for the first problem, we know the APR.
No, yeah, I know. I just want, like, if you just scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little. Yeah, that's it.
some of us were doing it as that dollar amount payment points divided by 1,000.
Why?
Because you
No, this is the right way. Because look, actual money coming into pocket always equal to, right, the loan amount minus the cost associated with all the loan. Therefore, this equality, right, you can compute the cost of discount point. Then divided the loan amount, you got discount point in terms of percentage. So, but you have to, if some question come up with, I think definitely in the quiz you have a very similar questions. So you need to be very familiar with the material. Okay, so Jessica, you pick up?
Yep.
Okay, so now problem 2. Problem 2 is basically the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. Because the loan one, 200,000, 4.5 for 30 years monthly payment and no origination cost. APR is 4.8. If you know APR is 4.8, right? You know the monthly payment for this mortgage, right? You can compute the actual money coming into pocket. But there is no origination cost, right? That means the difference between the loan amount and the actual money coming into pocket is the discount point. Right? So it will be there in it.
Yeah.
So now it's then divided by loan amount, you got a discount point. Then the second second question, right? Look, you loan to $200,000 at the 4.25% for 30 years monthly payment and no origination cost, right? Now, how many points must be charged on the second loan equal to APR? So if you know APR for the second loan, you can compute the actual money coming into your pocket for the second loan. Then you know what's the discount price you charge, right? Same thing. Anybody can do that?
So for you to get the points, you're really just taking the difference over the original loan amount to get the percentage. To get the discount
Yes.
points. Okay.
Yes, in order to compute actually discount points, right? Always the total cost of the discount point divided by the loan amount.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes. Because look, if discount point is 1%, so that's why you compute the total cost for the discount point divided by loan amount in order to get the discount point, right? Okay, so for problem 3, how about
Go down so I can see. Go down to the answers.
okay.
Got it.
So that's actually very then.
Wait, so the cost of the points is only 6,853. You don't divide.
I did. I did.
200,000.
Yeah, I will actually post this in our course website, so don't worry. But you need make sure you understand each step, right? So now it's problem 3. Problem 3.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Look, problem 3 is just a refinancing problem, right? So for this problem, because you only borrow the old loan amount. Like 5 years ago, you purchased a house, right? So 5 years later, what's the remaining balance for this old loan, right? So you can calculate. This is your loan amount, right? So now what is your monthly payment for the current loan? You know, a current loan, that means old loan, right? Of course, it's easy. So what is the new loan amount if you choose to refinance it? Because now after you complete this guy, right? Use the second amortization case. Second amortization and P1 equal to 1, P2 equal to 60. Like 5 years ago, 5 years later, right? The 60 months. Then you compute balance. So this is the amount. This is the money you need to borrow for refinancing. But this is the money, not actual money coming into your pocket to pay the, because for this case, you have to have an origination cost, refi cost, and the discount points, right? So now the actual cash flow is not this minus the cost associated with the loan, right?
1,000 and divide by 98%. Right?
Say it again.
You have to add 2,000 and divide by 98%.
Oh, no, this is your new loan amount.
That's just the balance.
That's the balance. But because this land allow you to borrow this amount of money, the balance.
Okay.
This is the loan balance. The problem 4, you borrow more money because you don't have any money to pay the cost. Right? So now what is your monthly payment for the new loan? Because you know the loan amount, right? You know the interest rate, and you can calculate the monthly payments for the new loan, right?
No, I got that.
So now what is the effective cost of your new loan if you hold the loan for 30 years? Then actually you know, it's easy, right? Actual money coming into pocket. Right? It's time 0, you borrow this amount of money. But you have to pay origination cost and the refinancing cost, right? So subtract. Then actually what is the every month, what is your monthly payment? This is your monthly payment from month 1 to month 360, right?
Are the numbers transposed? Isn't it supposed to be 1750, 362?
Yeah.
Is it again?
It's supposed to be
Yeah, that's why your
1,753.
effective cost is wrong.
Oh, this is not right.
No? You have it the same?
Yeah, that's right, right?
It's not the payment.
Okay, now hold on. Okay. Okay, 367, 314.93 plus 7.
I think I know, because it's in these numbers.
Then what's the interest rate for the refinancing? 4%. Okay, 4 divided by 12. 360 months. I compute the month.
How come it?
1735. Yes, that's right.
No Excel needed.
It shows 335 up there.
Right, you get 335.
173562.
Professor,
Huh?
how come in your PowerPoint slide, when you answer for that problem, is you added the 2000 and then divided by the discount points to get that number in your PowerPoint slide?
That's what? Is that different?
No, for problem 3,
Yes.
in your PowerPoint slide, what you did to solve that question,
Yes.
you added,
Okay.
oh, for problem 2, sorry, for problem 2.
Yes.
What you did to get the answer, you got the balance, but then you added 2,000 and then divided by 90% to get that new loan amount. That's what you did in your PowerPoint slide.
You mean
Problem 3, part 2.
you mean problem 2?
Problem 3, part 2.
Okay. Problem 3, part 2 is this one, right?
You got, that's the balance from the old one.
Look,
And then-
okay, look. You, we will read this word. We will read this sentence, right? You have found another lender
Yeah.
who will refinancing the current outstanding loan balance. It's a 4%. What that means, you can borrow this amount. Your remaining loan balance, this amount.
So I think in your PowerPoint slides,
Yes.
there's a mistake.
No, actually, in my PowerPoint, actually, there are two actual scenarios. Problem 4, you borrow not only loan balance, right? That's two different. But for this actual scenario, right?
I see.
You only, because the lender allow you to borrow the older loan balance. So this is your loan amount for the refinancing loan, right? That's right. So all the calculations should be right, right? Bill, actually,
Well, it's just because you have the 3 and the 5 transposed for the payments. It's supposed to be
where?
On number 3 is supposed to be 1753, not 1735. It's just transposed.
1735.
It's supposed to be 1753.
Oh!
What was the
Okay. So Bill is always right. I don't say you transpose, I transpose.
That's right. We're even now.
Okay, that's exactly right. It's
353, right?
Yeah, 73.
And then it's gonna change your effective.
no, I have a problem. I cannot change the numbers. I don't know the computer. Okay, listen. Here, actually, I will actually modify the numbers. Actually, what the KL says is actually this should be 1753.62. So that's actually the number I got. So I transpose the 35 instead of 53. Right. Okay. So should I? No, that's easy, right?
That's correct.
I don't need to go anywhere. No, this one, just change the number is 1753.62. Okay. So all the numbers should be right. Right? Okay, listen. So listen, if you want to refinance it today, at least how many years should you stay in the house, right? So now listen, I just do one thing. Because I will not post in our course website, but I will do once. Because you see this Excel. You see this Excel. Everybody has this Excel. But this is annually, right? Annually. So what I want to do,
Yeah, you're right.
I just want to do months. But I do what months, right? So what I do, look, I use the Excel you guys have, right? To convert monthly. So right. So what I do, and you watch. So for this actually, what is the loan amount? Loan amount will be what? 367, 314.93, right? Oh, too bad. So today you guys are not lucky. The computer not allow me to do. How I can Oh, I may just this picture I may just close it. I will not use it. So I close it. Then let me do it. I have something wrong. Okay. Okay, so I think we still have time. Let's start the computer. Let's do it. Let's start computer. Because I wanted to show you how I do it.
And you really screwed that up.
Wow.